How you doing? It's Bob Reynolds here, and I'd like to welcome you to our PowerPoint on Teams with the Ozark Mountain Young Entrepreneurs Club. Big welcome! All right, we're going to be talking about groups versus teams, what type of team skills, what type of categories there are, and also classifications, which I never knew there was any of those. So let's get right on with this. What we'll be looking at is what's the difference between a group and a team. What are team skills? What are team classifications? Again, we're going to be talking about the confidence, the expectation, and the importance of the right people around you, self-validation and confidence, passion and purpose, and how all that comes together with teams. All right, teams. What to look for in a team. Organizational performance. Okay. Teams have become the primary unit of performance in the corporate world and anywhere. So what the Kazenbach and Smith discovered was, the highlights from the disciplines of teams was that if you have the right balance of teams, you're able to produce a lot more. And that's kind of common knowledge for most people. Again, these PowerPoints, they're not for your high-end entrepreneur. These are for people that want to understand what the terminology is and want to start growing towards teams and reaching their potential with themselves and the groups or friends or teams or business partners around them. Okay, the difference that set a team apart from a group are that groups' performances are individually based results, whereas a team includes not only individual results but the determined collective results of everybody involved. And here's the necessary team skills. Team skills fall into three categories. Okay, and you have your technical or your functional expertise, and those are someone who needs to know what they are doing. Okay, that's your tech geek stuff. That's the, that can actually bring it together. Okay, and then you have your problem solving or your decision making skills involved in teams, and they identify problems, assessing the options, and then making a decision. It's one of the skills that's needed for teams. The next one is interpersonal skills. Individuals that can communicate and work through conflict. Now, small businesses, and if you're flying solo, you basically are wearing all three of those hats. Okay, you're technical, you're problem solving, and you got the personal skills going on. But you'll find as your group comes together that some are going to be more skilled towards another one of these skills more so than the other ones. We all have all three of these in us, but we have strong points. And that's when a team comes together, that's what makes it more successful, is they're able to focus on who's got the biggest strengths for one of those skills and who doesn't. Now, within those skills and within those parameter of skills of a team, we have classifications, okay? There's teams that recommend things. These teams are the forward thinkers and identify and solve the problems and then turn it over to the teams that make or do things. This team is more your applied science type of team. They're more your applications hands-on. Once up and running the project, it is handed over to those more talented in running projects. And that's the teams that run things. And so you can see how those different classifications, again, if you're entrepreneur and you're solo on it, you got to bring all these together and you've got to really be successful at them. That's why teams are so important. I set out to do, and I've done a lot of stuff in my life, and a lot of that I've done solo, but it wasn't until I found like-minded people and then we could come together and focus on those goals. Okay, the great team performance. Performance results are the markers for distinction of teams and provide us with their common traits. Okay, so you're not a really high performing team if you don't have the results, and that's the main thing that distinguishes you between a regular team and a great team. Okay, is the performance results. People with complementary skills who are committed to a common purpose set of performance goals, and approach for which they hold themselves mutually accountable. That's why it's so important to be around like-minded people with similar goals, because what will happen is they start with, combining their complementary skills, and they're focusing on the different traits of team skills they have, and there's also the classifications of that team coming into fruition. The greatest strength that comes from these teams is that they approach for which they hold themselves mutually accountable. So what happens is I become accountable to that team, but also that team makes me accountable to rise up to those standards. Okay? A team is a group of people with a common commitment to a specified performance that bonds the group together, making them accountable to one another, achieving a greater sum of results than if the tasks were done individually. Okay, that's the difference between a group and a team. Talked about our team skills, our classifications, and how all that pulls together with mentors. I have a paper on teams that I did that you can look more into what a team is. And so just to sum all this up, you could be a group and you could be a team, but if you don't really focus and you're not really accountable to that team and your goals and those common objectives, then that team isn't going to be very strong. And we'll get a lot more into that when we talk about our strategic maps. And the purpose of those maps really help bring that identifiable goal into a graphic presentation for the team. And again, the greatest part of a team is being accountable to each other. And that's what I've missed, and people that are out there running business on their own, they don't have that person that they hold themselves accountable to, which helps us to go a step further, okay? So, get with friends, look at your potential, get some common objectives in mind, set some goals, and be accountable to each other. And that's part of what's driven me to make this PowerPoint, is that the individuals that's involved in the Entrepreneur Club, that team camaraderie that goes on there, and the accountability of one another. And I sure appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed this short video on teams, and look forward to the next one. Should be on mindset. Have a good day.